Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Guild of Gaming's Guildhall, a place for everything tabletop gaming. Is that the starting line?
You sound so ceremonial sometimes.
Okay, I'm Lewis. I'm here with...
This is episode 11, I think.
Okay.
But yeah.
Don't interrupt me.
Sorry.
I'm also here with...
Me.
Hi.
And I'm Lewis, if I didn't say that. In this episode, we are going to be discussing why dice towers. Can we start again? Dice towers belong in hell.
Which they do.
One of us has got some very strong thoughts and feelings about this. I think I'm going to be the party who's going to need convincing, to be honest. I've got a funny story, I suppose, about dice towers, but other than that, I haven't really got much. This is a dice tower from a game, isn't it?
It is from a game.
What game is it?
Dice Hospital.
Dice Hospital. And it's pretty useless, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say so. And not because of the game. It's useless because dice towers are pretty much useless.
Okay.
Allow me to elaborate.
Please elaborate.
Please do.
On a side note, I like Dice Hospital. And I'm really glad you've got it. So, dice powers are a solution to a problem that doesn't exist. They take away the fun of rolling dice. That's the first one. That's my summary. The points. First of all, I think they take away the fun of rolling dice. The fun of rolling dice is, the shaking of the dice. Mm-hmm. The rolling of the dice. The physical act of doing it. You have fate in your hands. And it might be a bit crazy. It might be just the way humans are hardwired. But the fact of you actually doing it, it's like you have some say of the fate. Like, lady luck bless me kind of thing. Now, when I roll the dice, if they're good, it's like I rolled good. You know how many times I roll a 1 in D&D or a 1 in a game, you're like, oh no, as if you did that, yes. And vice versa. When someone's like, oh, well done, amazing roll.
And it's totally superficial, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
So you roll 20, it's like, oh my god, well done for rolling 20. Like,
so in a way, you're saying that putting dice in a tower and letting the tower do the work is disassociating yourself from the roll.
Absolutely.
Saying that, oh no, that roll had nothing to do with me. I want it to be pure luck.
Yes.
It wasn't me rolling dice.
Yeah.
It was the dice tower that gave me bad luck, or it was a dice tower that gave me good luck.
They can't handle the bad luck.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of my points. Second point with dice tower is people who do this with the dice, they roll it, and then put it in the fucking tower.
Yeah.
Why? It's like, oh, I'm going to roll this dice. Like, what? What is that? So that's the point. Now, some positives, as people say, is that,
some people say. You don't have to be like...
No,
you don't have to sit on the fence.
I'm not. Some people say, dice roller gets all over the place, so they save space. Yeah. Do they fuck? They don't. Yeah. Because either they're so small that they're next to useless, they've got no space, and you can only roll one die at a time because they're so small, or if they're large enough to roll multiple dice, and in most games you need to roll multiple dice, they need to be quite a big size.
Yes.
So what's the point? You can't win with them. There is no middle ground. Either they're small enough that you roll a single die, or they're too small to roll multiple dice. It's just near. And then you've got to lug them around anyway. So it's just extra space. Again, it's solving a problem that doesn't need to be solved. Mm-hmm. People who say, oh, well, roll dice off the table. How hard is it to roll dice? I roll dice off the table in the heat of the moment. We play war games. You're like, oh no. And they go off.
I mean, it is part of the game. That's the only way you get any exercise doing board games. It's like when you play in D&D, you roll a dice off the table. You're like, fucking hell, I've rolled it off the table again.
You've got to go around the table, all the way around the table.
And also, it doesn't add a bit to the tension sometimes. You're like, what's it going to be? Yeah. Oh, what was it? It doesn't count.
I'm all about interaction in board games, and it promotes interaction when you roll a dice on the table. It goes across the room. You go, oh, can I please have that dice? That's a connection you've made with a person for life. Yeah. You go, remember that time you passed me the dice when I kept throwing it off the table?
Also, I mean, some people do say when it rolls off table is what it lands and what it lands, and then everyone's looking for it going, what was it?
Yeah.
It's like, Stranger Things is a great example of that. It's like when they find the dice in the first episode, he's like, I rolled an 8, it got me. They counted the roll.
Mm.
So... yeah, and if rolling the dice tables that bad, I mean, how strong are you that you're flinging dice across tables? Yeah. Just go, there you go. Oh look, I rolled it. Yeah. It's just it's like they're saying it's not my fault I roll dice off the table. It's like, no, it is your fault. You're the one physically rolling the dice. Own the problem. Learn from it. Again, it's solving a problem that doesn't exist. You throwing dice off tables, your problem. You solve it by just not throwing them off the table.
Yeah.
If you want to roll them physically, then just drop them. You can also do the drop method. There's plenty of methods. So yeah,
are you going to be running a workshop soon about the methods of rolling dice?
It's not hard. Right, I'll do it right now. 10 seconds. There you go. Done. That's how you roll dice.
Specifically
yeah, you do it once, twice, and drop. That's how you do it.
Right, understood. I'll do it like that from now on.
Also, okay, when you use a dice tower, you're not even rolling dice. You're using a dice rolling mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that coupled with the point of, oh well, you know, they're random and they save space. Why don't we just get an app on our phones, a random number generator? Yeah. Why stop at dice towers? If they're saving space, they're stopping dice rolling off the table. Why not just I'm just going to get a phone out and go, there's a random number generator. There you go, boom.
Yes.
But I just feel, I can't help but feel that, like, like you say they solve a problem that doesn't exist. I feel like they solve that problem that doesn't exist really badly. Because, like, I don't know if there's been any studies in, like, if you put a dice in the dice tower the same way every time, will it come out the same every time? But I feel like there's probably definitely a bias there.
Yeah, because it's hitting several levels.
Exactly, it's going through the same way. There's not a lot
generally,
of
people do shake their dice before they put it into the dice.
So why not just remove the tower in the fucking first place?
Exactly.
War games. You want to roll a lot of dice in those games. Often, 5, 10, 20, 30 more sometimes. Yeah. Again, I've always just said, what dice tower is big enough for that?
Yeah, and it's like, if you can't count, like, your pips on a dice, or you can't count the number of successes and split it into 2 halves or 3 halves, or do it in bulks of 10, you can't keep track of the successes in your rolls, then there's no hope for you in a war game, really, because that's what you're constantly doing. The thing you're doing constantly is rolling a lot of dice and picking out the successes.
Yes.
So if you can't do that on a table, then I feel like that's a facet of being a good wargamer, is being able to roll a large amount of dice and picking the successes out of it.
Yeah.
So if you can't do that, you're not a wargamer.
Yeah, you've got some skills you need to brush up on. Yeah, absolutely. So a couple of things. People say, well, they bring something to the game, or now a couple of things. Maybe the odd goal, but it looks like nice scenery. That's the only thing I can say positive. Is you get some real pretty ones like D&D and stuff. Yeah. Casinos. Let's go down the professional route. They do use card shuffles, electronic card shufflers, but they will still ask the player to cut the deck, thus implying the player has some sense of destiny.
Yeah.
They don't use dice towers. And even they've embraced card shufflers, but they don't use dice towers.
They're even saying that, like, the machine isn't crooked, though, as well. Like, the
Yeah.
machine doesn't deal out the cards in a certain order. And they say, you let the player cut it because...
Yeah.
So you're in control, so you've got...
Blackjack. Do you think Blackjack would be the same if rather than doing that roll 7s, you went, I'm going to get my dice tower? Blackjack, not blackjack, craps, whatever the game is. You seem like, what's his name, James Bond's always playing it. Yeah. Imagine James Bond walking up and going, hey ladies, see my dice tower. Like, it's just, no.
Instead of rolling dice tonight, I'm just going to press this button on my app.
If people enjoy dice towers, casinos would buy them because they think they bring money in. The fact they don't use them says to me, they know it'll put people off. Also, when you go to someone's house and they've got a dice tower sitting next to that game, you're looking at that person going, really?
I know.
Really? You are. And if you're thinking, I have that, you're that guy. Sorry, but you are.
Yeah.
So, in summary, they solve a problem that doesn't exist, and they do so badly.
What about a cube tower?
What's a cube tower?
I don't know.
Shogun, so cube tower,
that's different.
That's very different.
I want to mention Shogun. Shogun is different because that is designed to hold cubes, not roll them, but to contain them. It's different. It's not a dice tower.
But do you like the aesthetic of a tower in general?
I've seen some great. No, I've seen some great D&D DM screens with towers built into them. The DM can roll the 20, and if they've got limited space, I kind of get that one. But I mean, again, like if you're struggling for space as a DM, should you be playing D&D in that place? Really? Again, solving problems.
Or you could just remove the dice tower, move the BDS screen back a little bit, and then you've got space.
Yeah, exactly. Again, they solve a problem that doesn't exist, and you know what? Right, could you play a board game without dice? Certain games, no, you couldn't. You'd need to have random number generator. You need to have them. Could you play D&D without pen and paper? No, you couldn't. These are essential items. You can any game that involves dice, you can play without a dice tower. It's not luxury. And you could say, well, I can play without. People would say, example, you don't need a dice rolling area. You don't. They're luxury items. The dice tower is a luxury item that you don't even need.
I think they're for people who are bored with their own life.
Yeah.
Because... I mean, totally.
Wow.
I've convinced them.
No, I don't know, there's nothing more... Well, it's an exciting feeling, isn't it, rolling a dice? And if you're dropping something into a tower, that's not as exciting as...
No. I get irrationally angry at dice towers.
Let me give you a metaphor as well. are you rolling the dice? And this is open, but are you rolling the dice if you put it into a dice tower? So people go, well, yeah, of course you are. Okay. Are you washing the dishes if you put them in a dishwasher? No. No, you're not.
Mate, you're completely destroying my argument with my partner at the minute.
Point is, they're useless. They solve a problem that doesn't exist. Overpriced, overrated, bullshit.
Do you have anything to add?
They just made me irrationally angry to see, and I'm also irrationally angry that there's one included with Wingspan.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're allowed to do this because Dan doesn't want it.
See? Yeah. That happened.
I've got a few points to add. I think it's the noise as well.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
If you're not the one,
or plastic.
if you're not the one who's putting the dice into the tower, and this goes for like 1 dice or 100 dice, if someone's literally just got a sack full of dice and putting it into the dice tower, it's so annoying. Like if you're at a different table and you can just hear a dice going through the dice tower constantly, or even as all of them are going through.
Yeah, even worse than the cardboard ones. There's like acrylic ones, plastic ones.
Yeah, because when you roll all of your dice, say if you had 10 dice, you roll them on a table at the same time
with your massive dice tower to accommodate
the sound lasts a second. Yeah. Whereas you roll them in a dice tower, it just goes on and it's interminable. The other thing is, I can't stand people who roll 1 dice into a dice tower. Yeah. It's just silly. Yeah. Very, very silly. 1 dice into a dice tower. That's about it. I just had a thought. You know that thing of when you roll a dice and it goes off the table. I love calling an audible on whether we should take it or not. Usually I'm like, if it goes off the table, it's not a good roll. But sometimes I'm like, if it was a really important roll, I'll take it. And looking around, like you say, everyone looks around. Yeah, I go as it's going off the edge. It's like, yeah, I'm taking that dice no matter what. I feel good about that one, and it goes off, and you're like, yes, right, yeah. But that's it. I think you summed up everything there is to sum up in a 12-minute video about dice towers. I'm surprised we got that far.
But what will the Kickstarter add-ons be?
Oh well, they'll just put a better resin finish or plastic finish on the cards.
That's true. They'll be fine.
Or more artwork, as they can always seem to find. Or here's something that's resin that doesn't need to be resin at all for any reason.
So what do you put in that tower in Wingspan? All those eggs or something?
No, it's dice.
Oh, it's
dice.
Right, okay.
For the dice tower.
Fair enough. Right. Thank you for watching this episode of Guildhall.
We get quite ranty sometimes.
Let us know if you agree with us or if you're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we got a bit personal as well. We don't actually know that many people who use dice towers.
Because
reasons. You don't actually see that many of them. But when you do hear one at a convention or a gaming space, you do.
People who tend to use them tend to be very passionate about using them. I'm expecting some heat, shall we say, from the Dice Tower community.
As you can tell, we're very light-hearted people. We'd never go out of our way to hurt anyone who used a Dice Tower, would we?
No.
And if Matt, would you?
No.
Would you?
Not. No.
Okay.
If you want to use it and you're a nice person, yeah, fine. You're just wrong for using it, But hate the sin, love the sin, or whatever you want to call it.
Like and subscribe. Put your comments below if you agree with us, disagree with us.
We're allowed to do this,
or don't. You do you. And we will see you next time on the next episode of Guild of Gaming's Guildhall.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
See ya.
Bye.